Get ready to storm the castle and uncover the secrets of history's most epic battle tactics. When ancient cities were the powerhouses, sieges became the name of the game, and both defenders and attackers brought their A-game with mind-blowing inventions that make today's tech envy. From clever contraptions to beasts of war, we're counting down the top 15 most unstoppable ancient siege weapons, and first up, it's a Greek genius who changed the course of warfare. Meet Archimedes, the brain behind Syracuse's defenses, and his infamous creation, the Claw of Archimedes, a game-changing innovation that'll make you wonder how they didn't conquer the world. Syracuse, a thriving ancient hub on the Mediterranean coast, was the epicenter of trade and creativity, but also a prime target for invaders. To safeguard this city-state, Archimedes, the brilliant Greek polymath, came up with an arsenal of defense systems. But one mind-blowing invention takes the cake: the Claw of Archimedes. This behemoth of ancient warfare was essentially a giant crane on steroids, deployed from Syracuse's walls to wreak havoc on enemy fleets. Imagine it, as Roman warships sailed towards the city, the claw swung into action, its grappling hook latching onto ships like a mechanical claw, then yanking them up into the air and sending them crashing down in a watery grave. This devastating tactic left the Romans reeling during the Second Punic War, proving that Archimedes was truly a master of siege warfare. Now that we've seen Archimedes' claw take down the Roman fleet, let's switch gears and talk about another ancient game-changer, the onager. Also known as a catapult, this powerhouse of medieval warfare was a staple for centuries, and its roots can be traced back to the 4th century AD. Imagine a sturdy frame on wheels, with a long wooden arm held in place by strong ropes. At one end, a bucket awaits its deadly cargo, ready to launch into battle. Here's how it worked: load up the projectile, snap the arm down, and then bam! As the ropes recoil, they'd whip the arm back up, releasing the projectile with immense force, shattering walls or crushing enemy forces. The onager was a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield, often deciding the outcome of city sieges in an instant. Its impact wouldn't fade for centuries, making it a must-know in our ancient tech arsenal. You've seen the onager's incredible accuracy, but now let's climb to new heights. Literally, siege towers were the ultimate solution for breaching fortress walls, and they're a testament to medieval engineering ingenuity. Picture this: a massive wooden structure built like a giant rectangular box on wheels, designed to roll into position near enemy walls. The goal: to match the tower's height with the walls, giving soldiers a direct route to the top. These towers were the key to taking cities. Just imagine being able to walk right up to the defenses and kick in the door. With their intimidating presence, siege towers forced defenders to either surrender or face a serious showdown. And when the Romans used them effectively, it was game over for the enemy. Time to take a closer look at these towering behemoths and see how they changed the face of warfare forever. Let's zoom in on how these towering siege machines worked their magic. Imagine a giant wooden box rolled into place right against the enemy wall. Archers on top would rain down arrows, while inside, soldiers prepared for their ascent up ladders that led to a gangplank lowered over the defenses for a swift entry. The goal: to take out the defenders from above and secure control of the main gate. But these towers weren't invincible. They'd often be covered in iron or animal hides to shield them from enemy fire. Although those protective measures were not always readily available on the battlefield, the earliest records of their use date back to ancient Assyria around 9th century BC, showing just how long siege warfare has been a crucial aspect of military strategy. Despite their effectiveness, though, these behemoths required massive resources and planning. They were typically reserved for when all else failed. Get ready to meet another ancient game-changer: the ballista. This powerful Greek and Roman innovation brought serious heat onto the battlefield. Essentially, it was a supercharged crossbow that leveraged twisted rope torsion springs for its might. Two wooden arms, connected by these mighty springs, would store energy as they were pulled back along a track. Then, bam, release the tension, and the spring's power would send your chosen projectile flying towards its target, whether it was an enemy fortification or troops. The ballista's versatility allowed it to be paired with different projectiles, but the go-to choice: a long, brutal spear that could rip through defenses or cause massive damage on impact. This ancient tech might seem old school, but trust us, it was a serious force to be reckoned with. Let's dive deeper into how the Romans supercharged the ballista. After snagging this tech from the Greeks, they brought some serious innovation to the table. One of their game-changing upgrades was adding winches, making it way easier for their operators to load and fire these powerful machines. The result: ballistas became precision-guided missiles that could pick off specific enemy fighters with uncanny accuracy. Of course, the further you fired, the less precise you'd get. But here's the cool part: we're talking about a max range of around 500 yards, which is crazy for ancient times. This tech was so effective that it played a huge role in the Romans' conquest of Gaul and Britain. But defensive walls were no joke. They were massive and super tough to crack. So, attacking forces needed some serious heavy hitters like battering rams to break through. We're talking behemoth-sized siege machines, not your average police issue ram. Get ready to witness the ultimate ancient showdown, the siege engine showdown. Imagine a massive, wheeled battering ram on steroids, suspended from ropes or chains, swinging back and forth like a giant pendulum to build up momentum. When the coast was clear, this beast would be pushed up close to its target, a city wall or door, and then the real action begins. A team of operators would unleash repeated blows with all their might, delivering a crushing force that could shatter even the toughest defenses. Early rams were simple wooden logs, but later designs got seriously cool. They added fireproof coverings and iron or bone-tipped heads to maximize damage. These ancient giants could deliver a massive impact in a tiny space, making them virtually unstoppable when used right. And here's the kicker: battering rams have been around since about 900 BC, making them one of the earliest siege weapons ever designed. Their awesomeness was so real that they even forced defensive wall designers to get creative and come up with new ways to counter their threat in battle. Let's level up our siege engine game with number 10, the trebuchet. This medieval powerhouse was basically an advanced catapult that unleashed devastating projectiles on enemy fortifications and soldiers long before gunpowder took center stage. Picture a massive wooden frame anchored to a gigantic log, stretching up to 50 feet in length. That's some serious scale right there. On one end, you had a series of weights ready to unleash their fury. On the other, a rope held tight, gripping the projectile for its final moments before release. When it was go time, the weight would drop and the rope would swing forward with an unstoppable force. Each salvo packed enough punch to leave enemies reeling. Counterweight trebuchets were the crare de la creme of their time, first making a splash in the Mediterranean regions during the 12th century. As one of the most powerful medieval weapons out there, they left defenders scrambling to come up with ways to stop this behemoth of engineering and destruction. Let's dive into how these medieval machines packed a punch. When you unleashed a trebuchet, its massive counterweight would swing upwards and then keep going down. Thanks to some serious lever action, that's physics in full force. The front end, holding the projectile, would follow suit, traveling downward until it hit the target with tremendous impact. As for what got launched into battle, you'd be surprised at what armies used. Everything from animal carcasses to barrels of flaming liquid came into play. But when they really wanted to bring the house down, they'd opt for large boulders, carefully selected from quarries and brought along on campaigns to take out fortified walls with maximum force. Now that we've reached number 9, let's talk about scorpion bombs. In situations where resources are scarce or battles rage in remote areas, troops often rely on local supplies. And get this, In 2014, it was reported that the Islamic State had utilized a unique principle by using deadly scorpions as projectiles. The idea isn't new. Ancient armies might have employed similar tactics when they didn't have access to more conventional weapons. So there you have it. From medieval machines to unconventional warfare, the world of siege engines is full of surprises and strategic thinking. You won't believe who else used scorpion bombs in battle. It wasn't just a modern twist by the Islamic State. Almost 2,000 years ago, residents of Hatra, a desert city in what's now Iraq, got creative when defending against the Roman army. They took earthenware pots and filled them with insects and scorpions. Then, they launched these bombs over their walls, hoping they'd crack open on impact, spewing out stinging and biting insects straight onto the invading Romans. It wasn't just scorpions. Reports suggest assassin bugs were also part of this poisonous mix. Imagine stumbling upon one of these pots only to unleash a swarm of tiny terrors on yourself. While it might not have led to any fatalities, it would have definitely been a super uncomfortable and potentially game-changing experience for the Roman soldiers. In fact, it's said that this unconventional tactic played a part in why they had to call it quits and give up on capturing Hatra. Talk about using every trick in the book. Next up, we've got a weapon that would make even the most seasoned warrior shudder. Meet the springald. This medieval marvel was a game-changing siege engine from the 11th century Byzantine Empire and beyond. Think of it as a beefed-up ballista on steroids. What made the springald so special? It ditched the bulky, outward-facing arms for sleek, inward-facing ones, allowing it to fit into tight spots without sacrificing an ounce of power or accuracy. The result was a compact, yet deadly force that could level enemy defenses. And if that weren't enough, even the legendary Leonardo da Vinci designed his own take on this bad boy, proof that the springald was truly a powerhouse in its time. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing facts, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update from us. Get ready to witness some serious medieval mayhem. We're diving into the springald's shocking capabilities. Despite being shrouded in mystery due to a lack of remains, modern researchers have managed to rebuild these ancient siege engines. And trust us, they pack a punch. Check out the 2 full-scale replicas on display at the Royal Armouries Museum in Portsmouth, England, and Trebuchet Park in Albaraz, Spain. You won't want to miss them. These springalds may be just 8 feet long, but they're not afraid of showing off. They can launch a whopping 5.3-pound bolt an astonishing 60 yards or fire smaller projectiles up to 84 yards with ease. Originally designed to take down enemy infantry, these precision-guided missiles could also level the playing field by targeting defensive structures. Just imagine dozens of them pounding away at the same weak spot, reducing walls to rubble in no time. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explosive history content, and turn on notifications so you're always one step ahead of the next mind-blowing fact. Buckle up for some ancient warfare tactics that'll make your skin crawl. We're about to uncover the sneaky secrets of caltrops. Imagine a battlefield where enemy forces can't move freely, and you've got a serious advantage on your hands. That's exactly what these clever little devices were designed for. Essentially, a caltrop is a cluster of sharp spikes, always with at least one pointy end facing up, anchored to the ground so they stay put. They're like sneaky landmines waiting to ruin someone's day. Chariots, horses, war elephants, and even camels. No one was safe from these foot-punishing traps. If deployed correctly, caltrops had the potential to take out a massive chunk of enemy troops in no time. And here's the crazy part: these ancient weapons have been used throughout history, from Greek and Roman times all the way up to modern day. Yep, you guessed it, they're still used today to target those pesky rubber tires on vehicles. So next time you hear someone say an oldie but a goodie, just think of caltrops and their timeless ability to cause chaos on the battlefield. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing history lessons, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next wild fact. Get ready for some real-life spy games that'll make you question everything. When ancient armies laid siege to cities, they had two main strategies: smash the walls or starve them out. But what if I told you there was a third way? Enter the sneaky world of infiltrators, spies, saboteurs, and even full-blown commando teams who slipped into enemy territory undetected. The most epic example, the legendary Trojan horse. This gift was presented to the people of Troy. With an unsuspecting army hiding inside, under the cover of darkness, they busted out a secret exit and opened the city gates, securing a major victory. Now, the question is, did this actually happen or not? Who cares? The story's roots are real, and it's inspired countless others to think outside the box when it comes to warfare. So, next time you hear "think inside the box," just remember the masterminds who changed history with their out-of-the-box thinking. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating history lessons, and turn on those notifications so you're always in the know. It's time to dive into some seriously fiery warfare tactics. When ancient armies were looking for ways to breach enemy walls, they got creative. Think merchants selling spices by day and secret soldiers by night, or delivering massive structures that concealed sneaky soldiers inside. They even dug tunnels underneath cities or snuck in through water sources, catching defenders off guard. But one of the most intense methods, the Boeotian flamethrower. This ancient game-changer was first used during the Peloponnesian War and was basically a giant flame-throwing tool. Imagine an iron beam with a hollow center, a bellow for the operator to breathe through, and a cauldron full of flammable liquid hanging from chains at the end. When lit, it would unleash a wall of flames to destroy enemy defenses. Talk about a blast from the past. What's your take on these ancient warfare tactics? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic history lessons. And hit that notification bell to stay in the loop. Get ready to be blown away by some serious ancient siege engines. Remember that Boeotian flamethrower. It was about to get a worthy competitor. Enter the mangonel, an early form of trebuchet. Imagine a massive wooden frame supporting a long pole, with one end swinging towards your enemy's walls and the other end counterbalancing it. This beast of a machine would launch projectiles like rocks or even dead animals, because why not, at the enemy, causing chaos and destruction. But that wasn't all. The mangonel could also be used to drop heavy objects onto city gates or walls, creating breaches for invading troops to pour in through. And if you thought stone walls were safe, think again. With the mangonel's precision, defenders would have a hard time predicting where and when these projectiles would land. What do you think was the most effective ancient siege engine? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing history lessons, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an epic upload. Time to unleash some serious medieval mayhem. Let's dive into the mangonel, an ancient siege engine that packed a massive punch. Picture this: a wooden frame supports a long pole, with a rope and hook on one end holding a chunky projectile like a rock, carcass, or even a big boulder. On the other end, there's another rope connected to pulleys. Operators would yank it as hard as they could, pulling the pole down and launching the loaded end into the air towards the enemy. With some serious muscle power, these mangonels could cause massive destruction on impact. But here's the catch: accuracy wasn't exactly their strong suit. It all relied on a well-coordinated crew to work the ropes and pulleys in sync. Anyone who didn't know what they were doing might end up missing the mark or worse. Can you imagine being on the receiving end of one of these behemoths? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic history lessons. Ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when we drop a new video. Get ready for some intense medieval warfare tactics. Let's talk about mangonels. These ancient siege engines were no joke, but sometimes they backfired on their own crews in devastating ways. Now, let's move on to another clever tactic: circumvallation. Imagine you're trying to conquer a walled city, and those stone walls are standing firm against your attacks. That's when you bring out the big guns. Literally, instead of throwing everything at the wall, you surround the whole city with your own wall, cutting off their supplies and escape routes. This wasn't always done by forming a tight circle around the city, but it was a strategic move that gave you control over who came in or out. By building a barrier, you starve them of resources and make it harder for them to fight back. It's like squeezing a besieged city with an iron grip, or they can't escape and their supplies are dwindling fast. What do you think was the most effective siege tactic? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic history lessons. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Let's dive deeper into the siege tactic that'll make you go circumvallation. So, when you're trying to conquer a walled city, just building your own wall around it is a total game changer. Not only do you cut off their supplies and escape routes, but you also protect your own troops from those clever defenders inside. They can't even see what you're up to as you prepare for the final attack. It's like having the upper hand in a big game of hide and seek. The Spartans were the first to use this technique way back in 429 BC, and Julius Caesar later mastered it during his conquests in Gaul. But here's the cool part: circumvallation didn't just disappear into history. It was used again during World War I in the epic siege of Stalingrad. The Soviets surrounded the city, cutting off the German troops' food and support, and ultimately leading to their defeat. Who knew ancient warfare tactics could still teach us a thing or two about modern battles? What do you think made circumvallation so effective? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing history facts. Hit that notification bell to join the fun. Get ready for some serious heat. We're talking about Archimedes' legendary heat ray. This ancient superweapon is still shrouded in mystery, but historians believe it might have been real. Imagine a device that harnesses the power of mirrors and sunlight to create an intense beam of heat capable of setting ships ablaze in seconds. That's what Archimedes allegedly created during the siege of Syracuse. By arranging a series of mirrors along the city walls, he could focus the sun's rays onto any target within range. According to ancient accounts, this bad boy was put to the test against a fleet of Roman ships, which went up in flames so fast that sailors and troops had to jump for their lives or turn back to safety. Wooden hulls and cloth sails, the perfect combo for a fiery disaster. Despite attempts to recreate it, the heat ray's existence is still up for debate. But one thing's for sure: Archimedes was a total genius who left us with some serious, awe-inspiring inventions. What do you think? Could this ancient tech have changed the course of history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing content. Hit that notification bell to stay in the loop. Time for a dark twist. Let's dive into ancient bioweapons. In the past, there were no rules or laws against using deadly substances in warfare, so it was game on for those willing to get their hands dirty. One chilling example is from the siege of Kaffa back in 1345. The Mongols had already tried to take the city a few years prior but got repelled. This time around, they brought a new weapon that no wall or shield could defend against: the Black Death. The plague had been wreaking havoc across Central Asia since 1331, and when the Mongol troops set up camp around Kaffa, even they couldn't escape the devastating consequences. It's believed that the Mongols catapulted infected bodies over the city walls, spreading the disease to the unsuspecting defenders. This brutal tactic would have had a crushing effect on the enemy, leaving them weakened and vulnerable to attack. And remember how ancient ships were made mostly of wood, with tar used for waterproofing. That same tar could have been used to create a concoction that helps spread diseases even more effectively. The thought of these bioweapons might make you shudder, but it's essential to understand the harsh realities of war throughout history. What do you think about this dark chapter in human conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gripping content. Hit that notification bell to stay informed. Let's explore one of history's most sinister uses of bioweapons, the spread of the Black Death during the Siege of Kaffa in 1345. Thousands of Mongol troops were caught in the deadly grip of the plague, developing gruesome symptoms like massive fevers, painful swellings, and dark boils across their bodies. As they began to perish en masse, many Mongol soldiers wanted to retreat from the battle to avoid falling victim to the disease themselves. But their leaders had a plan to use this horror as a weapon. Instead, they took the bodies of fallen comrades and catapulted them over the walls into Kaffa, unknowingly infecting its residents. This heinous act didn't stop there. It set off a chain reaction that led to the Black Death spreading across Europe, claiming tens of millions of lives along the way. The plague-ridden survivors who fled from Kaffa carried the disease with them, making it a global pandemic that changed human history forever. The true extent of this act's cruelty is a sobering reminder of how warfare can turn people against each other in unimaginable ways. What do you think about this dark episode in human conflict? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gripping content. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our channel's latest videos. Still hungry for more mind-blowing machinery? Head over to our machines playlist and